What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Paddy Pimblett talks about his next UFC fight. For weeks, there's been no shortage of buzz regarding a scrap between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett materializing in early 2026. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. But following Islam Makhachev's championship win at UFC 322, Pimblett admitted he's pretty unsure about who his next opponent will be. After Topuria secured the lightweight title by temporarily shutting Charles Oliveira off in June, he called for a fight with Paddy the Baddy. At the same time, talk about Topuria facing Makhachev has never really gone away, and Ilia Topuria continues to fire verbal shots at the former lightweight king. Well, not long after Islam secured the welterweight title on Saturday by recording a decision win over Jack Della Maddalena, Paddy had this to say about his next fight.
For me, it's just like, let's see what's happening now with Islam, because is Ilia gonna stick to his word and say he's gonna move up? Or is he going to stick to his other word and say he's going to fight me next? We don't know what's happening, do we? You never know. I could end up fighting Ilia. Could end up finally fighting Justin Gage. I thought it was going to be in Abu Dhabi, but no one knows what's happening, do they? Until Islam decides what he's doing, because I know Ilia's saying he wants to fight him, but I'll be fighting early next year. No matter who it is, I'll have an opponent. I'll definitely be fighting early next year, so...
There are definitely a lot of things to consider right now in terms of Topuria's next fight. Pimblett also acknowledged that it's not like Islam doesn't have some options in terms of fighting an established welterweight contender.
Pound for pound #1 lot. Unbelievable performance. I think he goes down as one of the best ever, me, yeah, he mentioned the White House, but I think he'll defend his belt before the White House. The White House is until July, is it? Let's see what happens, lad, you never know. Ilia's been saying he wants to go up and fight him, lad, but you've got other contenders there now. Morales, Prates, you've then got Ian Gary if he beats Belal next week. Shavkat as well, who needs to come back. He's been the #1 contender for about a year. They're all exciting matchups for Islam, lad. The welterweight division at the moment could be becoming more exciting than the lightweight division. I don't think any division has been more exciting than lightweight in over 10 years. Good times for the sport, like, you know what I mean? Some interesting fights, some boss matchups, but we're just going to have to see what happens, aren't we, over the coming months.
Demetrious Johnson also weighed in on Islam's future following UFC 322, but the way the legend sees it, Makhachev should fight Topuria in what would be a ridiculously massive fight, and then he should hang up the gloves.
I didn't think Islam was going to be able to, I didn't think Islam is small for 170. I've seen him in person. I've trained with him. He's a big dude. And who would Islam fight next at 170? You know what? I think Islam is destined for, he should fight Ilia Topuria at the White House. If he beats Ilia Topuria, he retires. Islam has plenty of money, right? Go out on your shield like Khabib did. A lot of people in MMA don't want to see that, but in mixed martial arts, us athletes, we stay too long at the party. There's no reason for an athlete to continue to come to the head and all that stuff. If I was him, fight Ilia Topuria at the White House, you beat Ilia Topuria, walk away. I'm sure he made another one. That probably goes far as Russia, so there's no point for him to keep on fighting.
It is an interesting thought, but not surprisingly, not everyone was on board with Johnson's take. Here were some of the reactions his comments prompted. Why is Islam supposed to risk everything and give a featherweight a chance at 170? Morales, Prates, Usman, Gary, Belal, Shavkat are the real contenders. I know this is not a real sport, but come on, what are we doing? I say Ilia fight next at the White House in June, then Kamaru at MSG in November, then he retires. As much as I'd like him to fight Shavkat or Gary or Morales, I think a former defending champ is better for the resume and would put him in GOAT status for a long time to come. A Topuria fight at the White House would A. make him an ungodly amount of retirement money just like Khabib got from McGregor. B. makes him an undisputed GOAT of the sport if he wins. Disagree. Fighting at 170 just to take on a 145er would be silly. I'd like to see him against Morales. That's a bad take. Khabib retired because had a loss in his family. Islam has no reason to. It's not about money. It's about legacy. How dominant can this man be? How long can he fight without losing? Khabib's destiny was to pass the torch to Islam so he can surpass it. Ilia holds no legacy yet. Islam losing to him would greatly damage his legacy. Beating him would do very little to it. That's your answer. But what is the man himself saying? Well, while talking with Laura Sanko and Paul Felder right after UFC 322, Makhachev outlined why he wants to fight Kamaru Usman next.
And today the two fight did like very well, Moraes and Prates.
Yeah.
But I still thinking Kamaru can beat them both. And Kamaru's the biggest, and they young fighter who like hungry, but Kamaru's still dangerous and one of the best in this game, you know.
Really?
And if you give me the choice and ask me who you want to fight, I will take Kamaru, but it's not my job. Anyone I will be ready.
From a legacy standpoint, you can understand why Islam is calling for this matchup. After all, Usman is one of the greatest welterweights of all time. But does the UFC want to go this route? Another big-name fighter who shared his thoughts on Islam's performance and future was Robert Whittaker. The decorated fighter believes Makhachev could move up to middleweight to pursue a third division's title.
Goes up 2 weight divisions. And I thought like Islam might do that. I feel like he might have the size to do that. Maybe.
He could.
No, wrestlers, they're a different breed. That would be huge. And then you put it in like Abu Dhabi. Like it'd be wild. Everyone's winning that from that card.
185 talk aside, Makhachev has further solidified his status as an all-time great, as both Daniel Cormier and Belal Muhammad acknowledged after Saturday's historic card wrapped up.
Team Khabib, Javier Mendez, they get their first double champ in that team, and that's been one of the most dominant teams in UFC history. So that's legendary status. The people out here are like, oh, you're not happy, you're this, you're that. Like, somebody else's success doesn't mean it's my failure. My focus is on Ian Gary. That's been my full focus. That's been my target point. All the welterweights performed great today. Next week's where I got to perform. Next week is where I got to go and show I'm still there. I'm still the guy at the top of this division. Nothing else matters unless I smash Ian Gary, unless I finish Ian Gary with a great performance.
He is a 2-division champ. Khabib walked up to me and goes, put your eyes down, right? Because now we have a guy that has 2 belts. So now I got to go talk to Islam, but I got to make sure I put my eyes down because he now joins that list of people that have won belts in 2 divisions, and he assures himself to be remembered as one of the greatest of all time.
Ali Abdelaziz breaks silence on Dillon Danis altercation at UFC 322. If you watch UFC 322, you know that the Octagon wasn't the only place where fists were flying, as a massive brawl broke out in the seats not long into the main card. As it turns out, not surprisingly, Dillon Danis was at the center of the melee. According to reports, a brawl kicked off between Danis and members of Team Khabib, including Abubakar Nurmagomedov and Magomed Zainukov, as well as others. Following the event, Dana White was asked about the incident, and he proceeded to announce that Danis has been banned from future UFC events. Well, Ali Abdelaziz, who manages many fighters of Team Khabib, was pretty fired up over what transpired. The Boshing Bosh account posted this on X. Yeah, not gonna lie, dude got jumped by 10 dudes and didn't get knocked down, and even took one of them down, which prompted Ali to respond with, "Shut up, you are 0-2 in MSG. Everybody beat you because you're a clown. Welcome to New York." In addition, Ali also shared this statement regarding the incident. Last night at the fight was an unfortunate situation. In this internet world we live in, people think they can say anything, do anything, and bully others without consequences. But you have to understand, when you do something, you will be held accountable for it. Your words and action towards people have a price. This is the same reason so many children around the world get bullied. Nobody holds the bullies accountable, and especially with this team. They are some of the most respectful and honorable people you will ever meet. But don't cross the line. If you do, you will face the consequences of your actions. God bless you. Have a nice day. He then followed it by writing, "From now moving forward, any journalist who speaks to this guy Dillon Danis is disrespecting the sport, creating fake hype and clickbait. Only people who will interview him are the losers who can't find anyone to interview." It sounded like he was taking some shots at Ariel Helwani there, considering he interviews Dillon Danis. As for Chanco, he broke his silence on the situation during an interview, which was translated by Red Corner MMA. Chanco revealed that they only attacked Danis and no one else in the crowd. He also went as far as to say that he felt like he didn't do enough damage. I think it was not enough. He should have got more. In terms of what he's done, it's not much. That type of things can't be forgiven. You have to be responsible for that. That's our way of life. If you said something, you got to be responsible for your words. But as for him, I have no clue what's their way of life here. They say anything they want. They can insult someone's family, and it means nothing for them. But for us, any single word has its meaning. Guess it's safe to say that we won't see Danis fighting in the UFC moving forward, in or right beside the octagon. Javier Mendez also spoke on the Dillon Danis altercation and said that if you provoke someone's religion and make fun of it, you get what you get. Here's what Javier had to say.
That guy, I mean, why doesn't he grow up? I mean, what the hell's he doing? I mean, I read, I heard Dana's speech regarding that, about how he was sitting in the fighter section and sitting where Team Khabib was to boot. I mean, come on, dude. You know you're asking for trouble. And then they showed me the videos of what he was showing Ali and Islam in a relationship type embrace. And then he was doing things with a star in Islam embracing. And then he's talking crap on other things. I mean, what do you expect when you do that? And you go and you sit where the guys are sitting and you riling them up with big, huge disrespect. I mean, this guy, it's like when Logan Paul's girlfriend went after him, rightfully so, because he was making her look like something she wasn't. So she sued his and then you got to stop that stuff. It's like, stop picking on people's religion, man. That's what he was doing. He was making fun of it.
Sean Brady breaks silence on UFC loss. After losing to Michael Morales at UFC 322, Sean Brady released the following statement. The sport comes with the highest highs and the lowest lows, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm living my dream every single day I open my eyes, and this loss won't change that. Benoit Saint-Denis calls out Max Holloway and reacts to UFC 322 win. Benoit Saint-Denis demonstrated once again at UFC 322 that he's not too shabby at finishing fights, and while he's not in the title shot mix just yet at 155, he is calling for a scrap with the BMF King. Saint-Denis needed just 16 seconds to put Demetrious away with a couple of booming punches on Saturday, and in doing so, he extended his winning streak to 3. The victory will likely move the French fighter into the top 10 of the rankings, as heading into UFC 322, Demetrious was ranked number 9 and BSD was number 13. While talking to the media after his impressive and violent win, Saint-Denis made it clear he's coming for both the lightweight and BMF belts.
Yeah, of course I want to fight somebody in the top 5, and as a BMF and the lightweight belt are the 2 belts I have my eyes on, and I want to make this division the greatest again, like it's supposed to be. The 100% finish rate against such a veteran, I guarantee war, but I think Oliveira and Holloway does the same, so let's see, but it's guaranteed war, whoever you choose.
Now, it would be kind of surprising if the UFC went with Saint-Denis over Oliveira for a BMF showdown with Max Holloway. After all, the latter two are legends, and it seems like there's a lot of hype for that fight. All that aside, following UFC 322, Saint-Denis shared the following statement regarding his last win. November 11th week, a date loaded with meaning for us, which resonates just as much here in the US. Today, after my victory, I want to take a moment to pay tribute to those who wear the uniform, those who serve, who protect, who fight for something greater than themselves, eternal respect. A huge thank you to my staff, these 12 people who work in the shadows to allow me to perform. Thanks also to the entire team in Paris, incredible training partners for this camp. I would also like to thank my wife, my everyday lioness, as well as all my fans for the support. Your strength becomes mine. Daniel Cormier impressed with Bo Nickal for amazing performance. Bo Nickal needed an impressive win at UFC 322 if he hoped to muzzle his critics. And Daniel Cormier believes the decorated wrestler did that and then some. Following Nickal's stoppage loss to Reinier de Ridder in May, he was booked to face another Galaxy-class grappler in Rodolfo Vieira. Not only did Nickal showcase again that he's more than a wrestler, he temporarily flatlined Vieira's consciousness with a head kick in round 3. Following the event, Cormier was quick to heap praise on Nickal's win.
Bo Nickal had one of the nastiest head kick knockouts ever. It was exactly what that kid needed after losing his first fight. So many people were ready to write him off. He proved tonight that not only should you not write him off, but he's getting better. He set that head kick up beautifully. They're doing some great work with Bo on the American Top Team. And Bo does still look like one of the guys, an American-born guy, that could potentially be a world champion.
If you saw the fight, you know that Nickal also flipped not once, but 2 fingers to the crowd after his win. Not surprisingly, Nickal was asked why he did so while talking to the media. The middleweight proceeded to make it clear he didn't care for all the heat he's taken in recent months. I don't look at it as anything other than standing up for myself a little bit. It's not personal at all, just letting them know how I feel. The former NCAA Division I wrestler also said the following about his big win. I feel like the last fight was really big for me in changing my mindset from going in and controlling to going in and doing damage. Obviously, you've got to control first, but lead into damage from there. It kind of sucks, to be honest. It's my least favorite part of fighting. I love the strategy and the discipline and the commitment, everything it takes to be a world-class fighter. Hurting people is not on the top of my list as far as fun things for me, but it's part of the sport. Now, it'll be interesting to see what comes next for Nickal and how he looks in that fight, especially after facing 3 noted top-tier submission artists in a row. Jack Della Maddalena's team breaks silence on Islam Makhachev loss. JDM's team broke their silence on his loss to Islam Makhachev last weekend at UFC 322. His coach, Ben Vickers, went on Instagram and wrote, "I am more proud of Jack and the team today than ever before. True, we didn't get the marbles, but we dared to dream and took our shot. It hurts like hell, but we aren't defined by this sport. It's just what we love to do. We've felt all the support and love over the last couple weeks and decades, and it means the world. I love Jack and the team, and I love Scrappy MMA and our community. I'll see you all on the mats as soon as I'm back in glorious P-Town, and rest assured this is the beginning and not the end. As for JDM, he hasn't been on social media at all to react to the fight, and has been keeping quiet. The only thing we got was this on his Instagram story. Who do you guys want to see JDM fight next in the UFC? Let us know in the comments below. Talking about JDM, Kamaru Usman talked about the faces that JDM was making in between rounds. In his opinion, he made those faces because he was frustrated with the matchup.
You see that face? You see that face that JDM had right there? Watch this face. Pause right here. Boom. Right there.
Yeah.
There's that face of, I'm trying to fight, but this dude can't freaking let me. And that right there is when you start to...
Yeah. I think